Okay, my friends, here it is. The video that is going to show you how to utilize this magical tool to solve your number one problem that I see with most gardeners, and that is a misunderstanding of light. So I'm going to show you how to use this thing. We're going to go outside. I'm going to show you the grow tents. I'm going to show you how this thing can seriously up-level your game. Then at the end, I will let you guys know for the people that are saying, but I've got too much light. What do I do? I'll let you know. So I'm going to take a complex topic and really try to simplify it here. So the first thing that we have to understand is that plants are solar powered, 100% solar powered. That's where the energy comes from. Now, on this planet, the energy comes from the sun, and the sun essentially takes energy and puts it into little packages and throws it in all directions. And the plants are here on Earth receiving those packets and then unlocking it and utilizing it for all kinds of plant processes. Now, you have to understand that there is a huge spectrum of light energy, because that's really what we're measuring here. Huge spectrum of light energy. And of that, only a tiny little smear is what we call visible light. And that's everything that we can see. And that's everything that the plants can use. So this thing measures the usable amount of light that a plant is receiving. And so by usable, that means that anything in that wavelength of between 400 and 700 nanometers. Anything below 400, the plants can't utilize. Anything above 700, the plants can't utilize. And so this is what we call a PAR meter. It stands for photosynthetically active radiation. It measures only the light in that wavelengths that the plants can use. So the unit of measurement we're going to use here is micromoles, and micromoles means the number of photons that the plant can use. So the next thing we have to understand is something called ppf, which stands for photosynthetic photon flux. And that measures how many micromoles per second are emitted by a light source. For example, if something is emitting 300 micromoles, that means that the light source is emitting 300 million photons per second that are usable by the plant. The next thing that's really important, which is what this meter actually measures, is the ppfd, the photosynthetic photon flux density. And that measures how much plant usable light is being received in a given area per second. So this device uses micromoles per square meter per second. So you don't really have to remember all that complicated stuff. You just need the background knowledge, and you need to understand that plants require different amounts of U-moles in different stages of growth. And so for the seedling growth stage, we're gonna shoot for between 1 and 300 micromoles. For luscious vegetative growth, we're going to shoot for between 3 and 600 micromoles. That's minimum. It can take more than that. And then if we're trying to flower or something, we need 700 to 1,000 to 1,500 and beyond for actual flowering. So now I'm going to take you out and show you exactly why this is so incredibly useful for you to understand, and it's going to solve so many of the issues that you have. Then when we come back, I'll answer that one burning question for you guys in Texas and everything that says, well, I got to use shade cloth and all that. What about us? And I'm going to answer that question that I know a lot of you have, and that is, what about shop lights? Can't I just use shop lights? You've been promoting shop lights for years. This meter is going to explain to you the exact results. Okay guys, check it out. Now here we are at the seed starting setup that I just showed you from the last video, and we are going to use our meter, and we are going to look, and we are going to see that, okay, this thing is measuring 400 million photons per second are reaching this area, this square meter. And so essentially what that tells us is how intense the light is. Now remember, I said that vegetative growth needs between 3 and 600. Seedlings can do about 100 to 300, all right? So if we put it down here, we see that it's 247. But as we move it up, here's what you have to look. As we move it up, these lights get more intense. So as you get closer to the light source, the photosynthetic photon flux density increases, meaning that the light becomes more intense. So you see? So if we were trying to flower something under these lights, we would need them to be really, really close, like this. We'd need to be almost right on top. But as you get further away, you can see that the light intensity decreases. And so for vegetative growth, between 3 and 600 is totally adequate. They can take more than that, but that's, you know, with indoors, it's tough to replicate the sun. So let us look at some other lights downstairs. Okay, so here we are downstairs with some lights from a previous project many years ago. These are the Mars Hydro 3000s, and they're very powerful and they're adjustable. So here's one thing we can use this meter for. So we see here that there's 250, okay, look, and as we get right up under the light, we're looking at about 350, and as we are going between the lights here, you see, it's not fluctuating that much. If we had a huge drop off right here, we would know that our lights are too far apart and that we need the spread to come a little bit closer. So, for example, if we move this light way over here, we can see, look how the light dropped. See it drop way down. So we want it to be so that there isn't much of a fluctuation between the lights in your setup. So we've got here, we can see 340, 340, 340. Now, these lights are adjustable. So you see when we get under this one, it cranks up quite a bit. So I'm actually going to turn this one down slightly until we get to more that 380, 340, something like that. So you see? So that is now the same intensity as this, although it might have us drop off a little bit more in the center. That's still okay. 20, 30, 40, that doesn't matter all that much. But see how you can utilize this. Now, one thing is that these lights are really seriously powered, and so if we crank these things up, we can see that even down here now there's 850. So as we get closer to the lights, now look, we're seeing 1400, seeing 1700, so that's 2000, 2300. Okay, so now look, as we're about 8 inches away from the top, we can get 23 to 2500, which is more than they would ever experience outside for the most part. Like 3000 is more than they would experience outside. And so this is how you burn your flowers, you burn your crops if they're too close. But unless you have actual grow lights, you will never have to worry about that indoors. I'm just showing that to you. It gets a lot deeper than this, but let's go outside and I will show you some comparisons. Okay guys, check it out. I'm gonna take you outside now in the middle of winter in northern Indiana, and we're going to look here in the Viking garden. Now, outside, okay, let us use our meter. We will see that it is blasting sun intensity, okay? 1,900, 1,800, sometimes 2,000 micromoles per square meter per second. So the sun is a tremendous light source. One thing that we have to realize about being outside is that it doesn't matter how far we are to the ground, because the light source, being the sun, is already very, very far away, obviously. So it doesn't change at all based upon how far to the ground it is for our practical purposes. But what does matter big time, for one, is the direction. Now look, this is pointed towards the sun right now. Now if we take this and we just angle it a little bit, look at how it drops, okay? So now let us angle it, and it's even reflecting off of the snow even, but look, 450, okay? So very, very little compared to when it is facing the sun. That's why the plants will direct their leaves towards the sun. Sunflowers will follow the sun so that they can get that maximum exposure. It really matters that they're pointed at the sun. Now, the second thing that really matters a lot for us gardeners, look at how intense this is out here. 2,000 micromoles, and this is the middle of winter sun. So now look though, watch, we got 1,900 in the full sun. Now we just go a few feet down into the shade. We've got 130. Do you see how much it drops? That's more than a 10x drop in light intensity just by being in the shade. And so when I do consultations with you guys and stuff, and the first thing I ask is, show me your garden and show me where the trees are. And sure enough, people that are having problems, they say, well, I've got these big trees, and I see some massive trees back there, and they don't realize how much it's stifling the only energy source that the plants are getting. So when you are, you cannot underestimate the effect that the shade is having on you. So when you are deciding where to position your plants or your garden, the number one factor has to be the sunlight, because that is their only true energy source. Okay, so check it out, guys. We've got here like a certified LED little grow light from Menards or Home Depot. It's 5,000 Kelvin, so it's in a good daylight spectrum that the plants can use. But the thing is, they sell them, you know, like, oh yeah, nice and cheap and low heat, but look at how weak they are. That's the thing. Okay, so we're just like a foot away from the plant right now, and it's 83, 86. That's not even enough for microgreens. I mean, they need at least like 100 to 200. But so for this thing to be viable at all, look at how close we have to get to the light. Okay, so for it to be enough for aggressive vegetative growth, we're looking at about 2 inches away from the light. And at that distance, the spread on the light is going to be next to nothing. Look, just every 2 inches you would need a light if you had them that close. So this is a big problem a lot of you guys are having. You got those little purple LED lights and they're just weak. The lights are just too weak. Now, if you get you one of these meters, you will know exactly. Now, as opposed to this here, which is a 20,000 lumen shop light. So lumens don't actually matter to the plants though. That's a measurement of light perceived by human eyes, but they loosely correlate. So here we've got 360, 380, okay? And so we're a good foot on the outside. So if we had one of these every 2 feet in our grow room, we would be absolutely fine, about a foot away from the plant. So I'd go for one of these, and this was like 20 bucks for 20,000 lumen shop light. They are doable, although they're not nearly as powerful as the actual grow lights like you've just seen. Okay, so now that we understand what the PPFD is and what it means, many of you in the real hot regions are probably thinking, well, yeah, that's fine in Indiana where you've got 2,000 micromoles, but here in Texas, we probably got 5,000 or 10,000 micromoles. That's actually not the case. So a lot of people think that their plants are getting burned by the actual sun. But if you look at the numbers and you use your gauge and things, the actual light intensity is not that much greater in places like Texas. It is more. Here in the peak summer, it's between 1,800 and 2,200 micromoles per square meter per second. In Texas, it can be 2,200 to 2,500, give or take, okay? So it is more, but not that much more. What actually contributes to your plant demise is a hot root zone. And I remember this, I learned this over the years of growing very high valuable plants in Northern California. In the middle of summer, it's blazing hot with super bright light, but it's not the light actually. It is the hot root zone. So if you keep that root zone cool with drip lines, with mulch, shading out grow bags, anything like that, you're gonna have way better success. So don't focus so much, maybe a little bit of shade cloth, yes, but don't think that just because you're in the South or something that your plants need shade cloth because they're gonna get scorched. Plants can handle full blast sun if you keep that root zone cool. So there you go, guys. I put this thing in the Amazon storefront. There's also just a direct link in the description if you guys want to get this one. Yes, there is a app for the phone called Photone. I haven't had that. I don't trust it like I trust this thing because I use these things in Northern California for years and they work really good. So if you want to know, get yourself one of these. I will see you guys here every Saturday, 12 noon Eastern time for the live Q&A. Put your thoughts in the comments. Also read through the comments. We got a great community here. Join the Viking Discord chat to learn more from like-minded gardeners. The link is in the description. Now, if you want to understand how to perfectly water your seedlings, I will direct you to this video here.